People can be very discriminatory against one another. You can discriminate against somebody's sex. You can discriminate against what clothes they're wearing, how they act. But when it gets to be that you discriminate them against their race, it's called racism. And although we like to think that there is no longer racism in our society, it is still here in our country. And although we don't have white schools, black schools anymore, um, it's still out there in a lot of different forms. And um, I am going to address how it is still out there by telling a story about one of my friends who is Hmong and lives here in La Crosse. Uh, so one day he was telling me the story about how he got pulled over for speeding in Alaska, and he said that the cop came up to the vehicle and not only just saw that he was Hmong, but he said that he had his hat put to the side, and so the cop all of a sudden like assumed that he was in a gang, and so he asked him to get out of the vehicle, and then he's like, "Do you have any drugs on you?" And this boy was like, "No, I don't have anything on me." And then they're like, "Well, we're gonna search the vehicle." So the cop searched the entire vehicle, and he found nothing, but uh, he was very hostile and was like very aggressive, and he was like patting down this boy and everything, even though he said that he didn't have anything on him, and there was like no real reason why any of that should have happened. But it just like goes to show that like if a white person would have got pulled over, that they went to search the entire vehicle, and it was just because he was Hmong and he was wearing clothes that supposedly looked gang related and had his hat to the side, which supposedly is the way gangs wear their hats. I don't know. Um, Maybe the cop thought that like there's a gang sign on his hat. I have no idea, but anyways, so that's one way he was mistreated. And then another story that he told me was that he was standing outside of a house really late, and I don't know if it was like a house party or his own house, but he said that the cop pulled up, and it was like say probably like 3 in the morning, and the cop was like, "What are you doing out here?" And the boy was like, "Oh, nothing." Um, he wasn't doing anything, but the cop was like, "You need to leave now, otherwise we will arrest you," and all this. And once again, got very hostile with him. And so, um, just like even here in La Crosse, it just goes to show that there is racism even here, and it's all over our country. And with more minorities coming into the United States, I think that people need to realize that it's just like gonna be one huge melting pot, as they call it, and no longer will white people be the majority anymore. So, um, anyways, that's my stories about racism. I couldn't really think of anything else.